Hello! Did you know that they now have s'mores Girl Scout cookies? Guess what I had for breakfast? Welcome back to Exploration and Tactics with Brian. With that little intro, since the last time I've come home, I've unpacked all my crap, and yeah, there's still a long list of like little player suggestions and things that I haven't figured out yet that I want to try to take care of a number of today. And so that is going to be the agenda for today, kind of like a mishmash of different things, science I want to test, and different things that I want to do. And one of them involves magma blocks, because I managed to get a Frostwalker book out of a dungeon recently, and I have a hunch about something I can discover about that, so let's start with that. So you will recall that magma blocks are new blocks that we recently found in the Nether. They have an animated texture, which I don't know that I actually remembered, and if you walk over them, you take damage. I've got lots of armor, so I wasn't actually losing any half hearts or whatever. But people had suggested to me that there were other ways that you could walk over these blocks and not take damage. And when I got a Frostwalker book, I think it was in the last episode, out of a dungeon, I was thinking, oh, I bet you Frostwalker is one of those ways. And so I attached it to some boots, and we're going to see. Haha! That's what I suspected. If Frostwalker is the other way that you can walk over these things and not take damage. So that's pretty cool, because it means if you made some kind of like mob trap involving this or something, and then you wanted to like go inside and actually do some work on it, you could just put on some Frostwalker boots, and you would be immune to the magma blocks. It also means that having Frostwalker in the Nether would actually be valuable, and so that's actually a pretty interesting property there of the magma blocks and how they interact with Frostwalker. And so I'm happy not only that Mojang, is adding new blocks with new properties like this, but the fact that it interacts in interesting ways with other things that already exist in the world is also interesting to me. Now, people had mentioned something about if I leave these blocks submerged. I tried putting them underwater before, and I have an infinite water supply right over here. The sun is about to go down, but there's actually something I also want to check out. Oh, okay. Oh, the water evaporated. That is not what I expected was going to happen. Oh, fascinating. Oh, it's also the case. This will be a little bit harder to test because I didn't think about the fact that the water's going to freeze on me. Do I have any other blocks handy? We can just use some wood for right now. There is something I kind of want to test at night here as well. But I am curious. There was something else weird that just happened there. Possibly it just like, maybe the magma has a small chance of evaporating water directly above it, and if it happens to evaporate the source block, then that means all the water goes away and it evaporates some other block like that. Just that happens, I think is what I'm seeing. I bet you that's my new hypothesis about what's going on there. And I'm curious if we get back there fast enough, if I can make it an infinite water source and we can watch it kind of like refill itself while the magma is trying to boil it away. Or if there's any changes that could actually happen to the magma block if they're underwater for a certain amount of time. Okay, so if I do this, now even if one of these goes away, it should immediately turn back into a water source. And so I want to try to watch it happen. But it's also the case, and actually I can also refill my water bucket, which is great. It's also the case that something else I want to do is move my bow up here and keep the looting sword in my hand. People had pointed out that you can fire a bow while you have the looting sword in your hand, and that's a great way to get the looting. Oh, darn it, I missed my chance, but I just killed a creeper over there. Yeah, it's doing what I thought. So it makes the kind of like hissing, lava-quenching noise. But then it also automatically refills. I don't know if it's possible. Is there a way for me to not fire this arrow now? Or am I just always going to lose the durability once I've pulled the arrow back? Because it's in this hand. Yeah, even if I open my inventory, it does that. So one of the advantages to having the bow somewhere else on your scroll bar is you can scroll away from the bow and no longer be drawing it back. I suppose the key that swaps things from your hand to your offhand, which I think, do I have that mapped to R or T or something? I don't remember what I have that mapped to. In any case, the other thing that I wanted to try, I talked about, I have ideas for how to build a creeper farm, creeper-only farm, based on the fact that mob heights have changed, and so now if you put trapdoors a couple blocks above kind of the normal ceiling, it is the case that creepers are short enough that they can fit underneath them, but skeletons and zombies can't. And so I had that idea as a possible way to spawn only creepers, but I'm curious, if I just hold the looting sword and I have a bow and lots of arrows and just happen to walk around at night for a few minutes, like shooting creepers like I'm doing while I'm holding the looting sword, if I could get like half a stack of gunpowder just from doing this for 5 minutes, that would be enough gunpowder to make enough fireworks rockets to do a whole lot of traveling. Guess I'll go ahead, since I've already got the bow drawn back, and go ahead and hit this guy. Oh, there's another creeper. Hello. Alright, that guy got in the way. But yeah, it might not be the case that I need to try to build an elaborate creeper gunpowder farming something, because it might simply be the case that every once in a while going out at night will earn me a whole lot. I'm not earning quite as much as ideally I would like to have in terms of gunpowder. Like, it is taking a little bit of time to get up to a half stack of gunpowder. But this is still, it's not unreasonable. Especially if I had a power 5 bow, I could probably do it in like half as many arrows, possibly. And I'm just ignoring the spider who's hitting me. I can't remember if I still have thorns on something. Maybe the spider will just die to that. But yeah, that was just me running around for, what, 3 minutes, possibly at night, and I've already got 24 new gunpowder, and I'll probably get a few more on the way home, because I see a bunch of creepers right here. So I think that's a perfectly... Ouch. Perfectly reasonable way. Hey, don't shoot my doggies! Oh boy, that skeleton's gonna get it now. Look out. Alright, let's deal with... Alright, we'll deal with you too. Let's deal with all these guys who are stacking up, and then there's also a nearby creeper who I might as well take out, since I've already got the bow drawn. But I'll just call it there. I guess... Did the doggy go after everybody? Or did he go sit back down after he lost interest in a skeleton or something? I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Okay, so in any case, we learned something new about magma blocks. We learned that I can easily accumulate a half stack of gunpowder just by fighting a few bad guys who spawn at night. And so I think that means I probably will not invest time in making a creeper grinder, because I don't think I really need to. And yeah, but there's other science experiments I need to run, so let me get them set up. Alright, so I just enchanted a new enchanted book that I got efficiency 4 on, and I also culled the pig herd, and I have those cooking up. But one of the things I want to do next, I have this pickaxe with the Curse of Vanishing, and I want to discover what that does. I also have a book with the Curse of Vanishing. Now, the pickaxe has Mending and Efficiency 4, so it's a very good pickaxe. And I would prefer not to lose this pickaxe in my experiments on the various things that I want to do. And so my plan is to try to use the Curse of Vanishing and just put it on some other lesser tool and then do experiments while I have that thing in my inventory. And then we're also going to work with the, whatever it's called, Totem of Undying. We're going to do some experiments with that as well. But in any case, my hunch is that during the course of these experiments, I'm going to die. So I am going to put away most of my stuff into a box and then figure out exactly what experiments I want to run based on the hints people have given me about what Curse of Vanishing might do. Nah, poop, I forgot. I've got Curse of Binding as well. Although I think people have given me hints that suggest that the Curse of Binding, if I were to die, it might cause these to come off, and so that would be a way that I could take them off. I've got 27 levels right now, but I've got a working experience farm that I can always use, so I'm not too worried about that. I've got the Curse of Vanishing book that I want to put on something, but I'm curious, since we have the opportunity to just test Curse of Binding by itself, I think I'm curious about that actually to start. And so the question is, if I die with the Curse of Binding, will I still drop this item, and will I be able to go pick it up and take it off like that? And so that's what I'm curious to know. And so I think the easiest way to find that out... Interesting. We had full water sources here before. Let me get my bucket of water again really quick. And I didn't see it happen, but I wonder if during the same tick, possibly 3 of those magma blocks could all proc at the same time and cause water to disappear from an otherwise infinite water source. I'm going to pay more attention to this in the future. But I guess if 2 of them next to each other went off at the same time, then we'd just be left with water flowing in one direction. And then eventually if a third one went off, then it could get rid of another one of the water sources. So I imagine that might be what's happening, and it does seem that they go off pretty frequently. Or we'll continue to pay attention to that. In any case, the only thing I've got right now is Curse of Binding, pants, and so we're just going to go down to the ocean floor here. We're going to drown. We're going to lose our levels, but that's okay. It's all in the name of science, and at this point I'm in pretty great shape with respect to all of my other stuff, and so if we lose some stuff for doing science, then that is okay by me. These are Protection 4, and Protection 4 does help somewhat against drowning damage, I think. And I also have some food bars left, and so it's going to actually take me a little while to drown here. Alright, I was trying to look down. I can see, just to see if I could see the pants anywhere. I didn't see them fall on the ground. I did see my experience balls, and I guess if I was at level 27, I'll probably get back up to like level 9 or something. If I can go pick up those experience that I just dropped. But are there pants here? Yes, there are, and I'm now carrying them in my inventory. Great, so I'm not going to put them back on. So we've already learned that one way to take off... I'm at level 7. One way to take off armor that has the Curse of Binding is to die and then go and pick up the item. Okay, so that's great. So now I'm able to protect my Protection 4 Unbreaking 3 Curse of Binding Diamond Leggings from whatever the Curse of Vanishing might do to me. Because I'm fearful that one of the things it might do involves like destroying all your inventory. Okay, so I have an enchanted book with Curse of Vanishing, and let's put it on some other weak tool. Do I have any like just axes or things lying around? Here's a shovel. Great. Shovel. We are going to put the Curse of Vanishing on it for an enchantment cost of 4. That's fine. Alright, and so now I'm carrying something with the Curse of Vanishing, and I have, I think, 3 different hypotheses about what this curse might do. My first hypothesis, I've actually damaged the anvil, was that if you were to try to take something with Curse of Vanishing and combine it with another tool, it might destroy one or both of these things while combining them. So that's one thing I want to test, and actually, the fact that I'm running out of levels actually is going to make that a little bit harder to test. The next hypothesis I have is that if you die while you have the Curse of Vanishing object in your inventory, it causes all of the rest of your inventory that you drop to disappear, and so causes you to lose everything if you're carrying the Curse of Vanishing item. And what was the third hypothesis that I had? These were all hypotheses I had based on various hints and things that people had given me. But let me go ahead. Efficiency 1. This is something that hopefully I have enough levels that I can do this. Yeah, enchantment cost of 2. Alright, so let's see if possibly using a Curse of Vanishing item in the anvil causes things to disappear. It does not. It just combines normally. Alright, and so then the next possibility, I think, is that if I die with this in my inventory, it might do something to other things that are in my inventory. So let's get another non-valuable item, such as an iron axe that I will also have in my inventory. And now I'm going to go and die. I love seeing these little kind of like smoke things happening. I guess some of it might have been the torch. I think it was the magma cubes, magma blocks or whatever going off again. So we're going to try drowning again. And we're going to see if we get either or both or neither of these items back after drowning. And yeah, and then I'm going to try to remember what my third hypothesis was, if it doesn't come to be the case that this explains it. People said something about lava as well. So maybe it's only if you throw the object in lava, or I'm not sure exactly. but we're almost dead. There we go. I drowned. I'm back. Video games are great like that, right? Death is rarely permanent. Except in permadeath games. I guess if you were playing Minecraft hardcore, it would be kind of like that. This is much better, because we can do science. I think that might have been it. I do not see, I apologize if it's dark, I do not see either of my items, either the shovel or the axe that I was holding down here. I think I own some glowstone, and I'm going to bring some glowstone down there just so I can be like doubly sure. Or I guess a pumpkin with a torch in it would work as well. And yeah, I'm actually not sure if I have any glowstone blocks handy, but I definitely have pumpkins. And so we can make a jack-o'-lantern and put some light down there on the bottom of the ocean. But I think if you die while you either have in your inventory or are currently holding at the time, I was holding it at the time, and so it could just be if it's anywhere in your inventory. I don't know how to distinguish among those two based on the one test that I've done. But it looks like all of your stuff goes. And so if that's the case, it means that the awesome pickaxe that I have that's efficiency 4 in mending, but also Curse of Vanishing, is a very dangerous item to be carrying around all the time. And that was one of the reasons that I chose to, when I had 30 levels after I killed the pigs off camera, that I chose to go ahead and get an efficiency 4 book. It was just so that I could make a new pickaxe if I needed to, although it won't have mending on it anymore. But yes, I now think that this is a very dangerous item to carry anywhere that I'm going to be in danger, so that's very interesting. But we learned about Curse of Vanishing, and we learned about Curse of Binding already. And so now the other one that I want to learn about is the Totem of Undying. And I have 7 of them, at least, that we can play around with. And so let's go ahead and play around with them. People suggested that I needed to hold this item in my hand in order for it to take effect. And I think people in the comments also suggested that the offhand would work. So I'm going to put it in my offhand. And I'm going to attempt to drown and see what happens. I had hypothesized... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got my axe back. Okay, so I was wrong. All right, is my shovel anywhere down here and I just failed to see it? Things travel a little bit farther when you die and explode out of you than I thought. So maybe it's only that one item that disappears? Because I still don't see the shovel. Alright, it would have been perhaps better to have a more controlled location to do this experiment with the vanishing item. But I'm going to go ahead and die with the Curse of Undying. Oh! That was a very cool animation. And I was hypothesizing that it might bring you back up to 10 hearts. It gives you regen 2, and it looked like I got 4 bonus gold hearts for a brief period of time. That's actually very useful. There are a number of situations, such as drowning right there, where that would totally save you and be valuable. Wow. That could be valuable in CTM maps as well. That has a lot of possibilities. I'm going to go back and rewatch the video segment of that to try to get a very good sense. I think I got 40 seconds of regen 2. I just want to get a good sense of if it was 4 bonus hearts and 40 seconds of regen 2 or exactly what it was, because that was really cool. I'll be right back. So yeah, looking back at the video, unfortunately I didn't open up my inventory to see the duration of the absorption hearts that I got. It did appear that I got 4 absorption hearts, but I used them all up to taking drowning damage before I got a chance to see how long that they would last, and it did look like it was somewhere between 40 and 45 seconds of regen 2. And so the Totems of Undying are pretty cool. I do think it is likely that I will get some more, because I would like to try to explore at least one more woodland mansion at some point, I think, because there's still some things we haven't seen. And now that we have the Elytra wings and rocket power to fly around, like, it doesn't feel like it ought to be that difficult. Honestly, the more difficult thing is going to be getting the emeralds, making sure I have enough emeralds to like buy the treasure maps or whatever. I think it's perhaps going to be the most difficult thing to do in order to be able to find another woodland mansion. But I feel confident about traveling around a lot. And someone had the excellent suggestion that after traveling all the way to a woodland mansion, the fastest way back might be to locate the nearest end portal. I guess I could afford to do a couple of these. Yeah, let's go ahead and just have a bunch of ender eyes on you and locate the nearest end portal, and then go back through the end and come back to your spawn point back at home. Does it bring you back to your spawn point, or does it bring you back to the world spawn point? I think when you go back through the end portal in the end, it brings you back to the world spawn. Or does it bring me back to your bed spawn? It might be your bed spawn, so I have to make sure I didn't have a bed spawn so that it would bring me back to the world spawn. But I'm going to leave some Eyes of Ender in my Ender chest so that next time I am out traveling in the world, if I'm trying to find another woodland mansion, that could be a quicker way back, because now that there's, I think, 128 strongholds in the world, and they go out, you know, like tens of thousands of blocks, it could very well be the case that there might be one nearby at some woodland mansion. Okay, let's see. What other science experiments do I have? I'm looking back through my notes, and I remembered the other hypothesis I had about the Curse of Vanishing, which is that if it degrades, that is, if you use up all of the tool's durability while it's in your inventory, that maybe it would cause all of your inventory to vanish or something like that. Since this is a bending pickaxe, it takes a lot of work to try to make this degrade all the way down to 0, and unfortunately I already used up the shovel, and I don't have another Book of Vanishing or whatever to try that out on. But I do plan to go back to the end, and we did find some cursed items in the end, and so perhaps next time we're in the end, we'll get another item with the Curse of Vanishing on it, and we'll be able to do a little bit more experiments with that as well. I was just going through my list. I noticed that the magma blocks managed to destroy all the water that's here, and I was thinking, since the magma blocks can destroy water over time, that's already interesting. It was kind of freezing out my ice, and that was kind of destroying one of the experiments I wanted to do, but it gives me the opportunity to do another experiment, which is to see if the water here does freeze. Like, can magma blocks destroy ice blocks that are right above them? Is something else I'm curious to know. My guess would be no, but until we actually try it out, it would be interesting to try to find out. And so I'm going to see if I can get any of these to freeze and then watch what happens. I guess I might as well fill these back up while there's still water here. And I guess I do have Silk Touch, and so I could just go get some ice. Actually, that's probably a quicker way to do it. Need to sleep away the night anyway. So we'll go grab some Silk Touch and grab some ice blocks and try it out. Okay, so it's a fresh day. Got my Silk Touch pick, or one of them. Here are 4 ice blocks. And so we can just get rid of the water that is here and put down ice. And then it feels like there's something really interesting and useful you might be able to do with this mechanic, but I haven't come up with exactly what it is yet. Interesting. Oh, it melted because there's a... Okay, that here. This might refreeze, or the magma is more likely to probably make it go away, but I could still watch the other 3. So I'm just going to sit here. Okay, it did refreeze. I'm just going to sit here and watch this for a little bit and see if anything happens. Well, I've been standing here for a few minutes and nothing has happened, and so I don't think anything is going to happen at this point. While I was waiting, I was looking at my notes, and something a number of people have told me to check out a few times is pressing F3G, which apparently shows chunk boundaries. Oh, I see. I'm not sure. I guess the yellow lines are like every 2, but then the blue lines are chunk boundaries, or the blue and red lines are chunk boundaries. Are they like in a checkerboard? Oh, the blue lines are the chunk that I'm currently in, and then the red lines are other chunk boundaries. Oh, that's kind of useful. There have been times where I've been speculating about chunk borders as they relate to different graphical glitches and different things in the game, and so this is a good way if you're trying to visualize that, or if you're trying to build things that need to be on chunk boundaries, to see where they are. And it shows you the section boundaries as well, so every 16 up there's another blue line. And all right, that's interesting. So that's F3G. Chunk borders, I see. Chunk borders hidden, chunk borders shown. Cool. So there is that. The attack indicator, people have mentioned to me a number of times. And so when it's in this mode, I think it pretty much works the same as always. And there's this little sword that goes across the screen, and once it disappears, it tells you that you're ready to use the thing. But I think possibly if I go into the hotbar version of the attack indicator. So it's got this little sword on the right. No, I thought people were saying something was different on the crosshair. Like the little plus that's in the middle of the screen would like disappear or light up or something once you're ready to fire, but I'm not seeing that change in that either. And if I turn it off altogether, yeah, I don't see anything changing with the crosshair there either. Do you have to be looking at a thing that you're actually going to kill for it to do something? Let me try going over. There should be some squids swimming around here, or there's the pigs over here, and I still have plenty of them. So I could afford to kill one more if I needed to. Hi, piggies. If I am... Oh! Interesting. While I'm looking at one of them, the little knife thingy shows a graphic all of a sudden, and so if I do this... Oh, there's a little plus below it. I see. So the idea is when the little plus right below it appears, but it only appears when you're looking at a thing. So I guess it also tells you if you're targeting a thing currently right now. I've just never looked at this very closely. I see. So basically when I'm looking at a thing I can target, this little thing pops up, and it will have a plus underneath it if I'm at full attack power. So if you have a very stationary target and you're also not moving, that seems pretty useful. But if you're in the middle of fighting a zombie or a creeper or something, like, I don't know that I would have ever really noticed that before. Obviously, I didn't notice it before because people have been telling me about it for weeks, and I hadn't noticed it until I actually took the time to look right now, and even then it took a little bit of looking. All right, let's see. That crosses those things off my list. Are there any other things that are easy to take a look at right now? So yes, one other potentially easy thing to test is what happens if you're mean to a llama. And so if I punch a llama, how does he feel about me? And is it only going to happen with the llamas that I haven't already tamed and that don't already love me? Pretty sure they have a fair amount of hit points, so I could afford to like hit him a second time just in case that does something. Alright, maybe it doesn't work with guys that you've already tamed, and so maybe I need to go find some wild llamas out in the world to try that out on. I'm fairly certain I know where there are some llamas north of my northern base, and so I have re-equipped some things. I didn't put on the binding pants, but I'm prepared to go flying. But if we travel through the nether, and this also brings me to another thing, people said that there was something new to see in the open nether, and so at some point, not right now, I should do like just some like flying around inside the nether and try to discover something else that can be seen in the open nether that I haven't seen before. But we can work on that at some point in the future. But in any case, we should be able to very quickly go over to the northern base, and then from there, if we take off and fly, I'm pretty sure there's just a little ways that we have to go to the north before I encounter some more wild llamas, and then we can test out our punch a wild llama in the face to see what happens. Alright, so I'm at the northern base, and if I jump off from here... nope. Let's see. Let me get up high enough that I can get a good launching point. I still need to work on, yeah, elytra takeoff. Okay, surely from this height I'll have some better luck, and I just called it elytra rather than elytra. Probably because I was playing bingo the other day with some people who were calling it elytra. But elytra is correct. Let's see now. Where did I see the other llamas? I'm pretty sure they were mostly to the north. I know they mostly like to hang around mountainy kind of areas. So these... Savannah M or whatever they are those some llamas right there? No, that was just grass that I was seeing. Are those llamas? No, you guys are sheep. Alright, not useful to me. It's fun and easy to travel like this, so we'll just keep doing it. Okay, here's some extreme hills. Certainly, yeah, there we go. We'll find some llamas over here, and this only took me about a minute to get to. It only went through, I don't know, like 10... Yeah, I guess 13 fireworks rockets. Okay, so hello llamas, who don't care for me one way or the other. If I punch you... Oh! He spit at me! I see. I think once when we saw them interacting with the wolves, I saw a puff of smoke, and I was thinking maybe it was the wolf that killed, you know, a bunny rabbit or a whatever, but I think it was the llama spitting at him, because I think it was that same animation. If I do it again... That time he missed me, but yeah, that's the same kind of like puff of white smoke that I think I saw before. And I don't have a good sense. Yeah, I'm going to just take off some armor. Yeah, let's just take off armor really quick just to see how much damage it does. I will go ahead and heal back up. So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't do very much damage. Alright. But basically the llamas have a spit attack. And I wonder also if I punch them and then try to run. Yeah, then we can kind of like see it sideways. It does seem like it has a lot of range. The attack that they do. It doesn't seem like it's very powerful. And it seems like, yeah, they're just kind of like naturally not a friend to the wolves. And so seem to do that attack, and that causes the wolves to run away. So if llamas chase wolves and wolves chase skeletons... and cats chase creepers. He's trying to see if you could like somehow set up a ring of animals that were all chasing each other around, but I'm not sure exactly how you might do that. I guess if you could get the llamas to shoot the skeletons, so the skeletons were trying to pursue the llamas, and meanwhile the llamas were chasing the wolves, and the wolves were chasing the skeletons. Maybe you could get the three of them going in a ring. That could be interesting to try to do, possibly. But for now, I have finally discovered the llama spit attack. And so, yeah, it's another thing to cross off my list. A little bit more science that we've done. And yeah, I guess the main thing that I'm really curious about is if you can get a llama to accidentally have his spit hit another mob and see if the mob aggroes against the llama. And then can do kind of like interesting and clever things with that, maybe. Alright, I'll meet you guys back at home. Alright, I think that'll do it for today. We've done a lot of science today, and I learned a bunch of new things based on clues from you and managed to tie up a bunch of loose ends. I still would like to try to find another woodland mansion. I would like to go back to the end and find another one of the floating castles or whatever it is, both to get the dragon's head that people told me I forgot about, which I kind of forgot about, but I kind of also don't care about, but I did know about already because that was in previous versions of the game. But I want to get that and try to get more shulker boxes so I can color them more colors. And also, I don't know, just kind of like have fun exploring the end now that I can fly. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of other new things to do. Still finding this thing in the desert underground is still something that I'd like to do, even though people say it sounds like I'm going to be underwhelmed by it at this point. And I think there's something new with fishing that I still haven't figured out, but I've crossed off the vast majority of things on my list. So if there's other things that are new in the last two updates that I should check out, by all means, leave them in the comments. But otherwise, I hope that you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again soon for more Minecraft exploration and tactics. Bye-bye.